Hello everyone and welcome back to Weekly China Recap. I'm Xing Zheming. This week, we are unpacking a major policy rollout that could quietly but powerfully reshape how China stimulates its economy from the ground up. Starting September the 1st, China will implement a dual-interest subsidy policy, one that directly targets both the people who spend and the business that serve them. It is the first time the central government is applying fiscal interest subsidies to personal consumption loans, and is doing so in tandem with support for service sector small businesses. So what exactly is happening? On the consumer side, the subsidy targets real, verifiable spending, not just blanket credit expansion. Individuals taking out consumption loans, whether for daily needs under 50,000 yuan or for larger purchases like cars, education, home upgrades, or healthcare, can receive up to 3,000 yuan in annual interest relief per bank. This isn't just about subsidizing debt, it's about rewarding genuine, traceable consumption. Borrowers authorize banks to identify eligible transactions directly from loan accounts, allowing the subsidy to be calculated automatically, with no extra steps or applications required from the consumer. In short, if you spend and it qualifies, you save. At a time when household sentiment is cautious and many are holding back, this move directly reduces the cost of consumption loans by roughly 1/3 of the typical interest rate. That makes it easier for families to renovate a home, buy a car, or fund tuition without overextending. And the message is clear. China is no longer only relying on infrastructure or exports. It's now placing a real bet on the domestic consumer. But the policy doesn't stop there. Alongside the household subsidy, Beijing is rolling out a parallel program for businesses in 8 key consumer-facing industries, from restaurants and hotels to eldercare, childcare, sports, tourism, and entertainment. These businesses, many of them small and medium-sized, can now access loans of up to 1 million yuan with a 1% interest subsidy for 1 year. That's up to 10,000 yuan in relief per business. The goal here is twofold: lower financing costs so that these firms can upgrade, expand, or even just survive, and ensure that as demand picks up, supply quality keeps pace. Policymakers are clear this is about two-way activation: stimulate the consumer and reinforce the service backbone that supports them. And zooming out, this dual subsidy marks an important pivot in China's macro strategy. It is the first time that fiscal subsidies are being directly tied to household consumption behavior, breaking from the traditional playbook of investment-heavy stimulus. Analysts say this isn't just about hitting growth targets, it's about structural rebalancing, encouraging quality, everyday consumption, expanding credit access without inflating risk, and fostering what Beijing calls a domestic circulation engine that's stable, inclusive, and sustainable. Financial regulators are also emphasizing strict oversight. Banks are tasked with verifying spending, reporting monthly, and guarding against misuse or arbitrage. The tools are there: transaction tracking, contract updates, risk modeling, and now the pressure is on to deliver both volume and integrity. As of now, 23 financial institutions, including China's 6 largest state-owned banks and several major consumer finance companies, have signed on. Many are already updating their systems and publishing detailed guides through apps and online platforms. And for consumers, no extra paperwork, just consent to data tracking at the time of loan signing, and the subsidy will show up directly on your interest statement. So what does this all signal? In a word, precision. Unlike past stimulus rounds that flooded the system, this is targeted liquidity, aimed where it counts: daily spending, high-quality services, and confidence at the grassroots. It is also a policy approach with a multiplier effect. Experts estimate that 1 yuan of fiscal subsidy could unlock 100 yuan of new consumer financing, creating a flywheel effect as banks, businesses, and households all align around spending. If it works, this model could become a new cornerstone of China's fiscal financial toolkit, complementing initiatives like green loans, hold for new trade-ins, and service sector revitalization. That wraps up this edition of Weekly China Recap. I'm Xing Zheming. Thank you for listening. If you found today's episode helpful, feel free to share it with friends, colleagues, or anyone watching China's evolving policy landscape. And if there is a topic you'd like us to explore, drop me a message. Until next time, stay informed, stay thoughtful, and stay sharp. Goodbye.